recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. I'm Kimberly Palm. For all of you who are new to this channel, I'm a spiritual teacher and ascension guide and healer, life and health coach, meditation instructor, and all kinds of fun stuff that I do. I just want to let you all know, because the last video I did with Jenny Lee, I had Jenny Lee on, and I had an army of trolls attacking me about my communication style on the video. I want you to all know I am not an interviewer. I am not a journalist. I am a teacher. I teach. I've been teaching since 1990, and all I do is teach. And so my style of when I have people on my show is conversational. That means I get to talk too. I don't just ask a question, shut up, and let the guest talk throughout the whole show. I had a whole army of people show up on my Jenny video who assaulted me and said, let Jenny talk, and you're interrupting her and you're rude. So I went to Jenny Lee herself and I said, Jenny, what did you think of that video? Jenny said, I felt it flowed beautiful. I loved it. I want to do it again. She said, you were not interrupting me. You let me talk and say everything I needed to say. These people who are saying this to me, number one, you have a serious issue, because I do not get paid for these videos. I make zero money doing these videos. I'm not monetized and I don't get any money. I am giving up my time to teach you and help you on your journey, to help you ascend. Okay. I'm giving my time to you. You are being really disrespectful, rude, and ungrateful if you're attacking me. If you're coming on my channel and attacking me on my videos, you will be deleted. You will be muted. You will be blocked. Okay. So do not even bother to say nasty shit on my videos, because you will be out of here. You're gone. Like, you know how they do that? Yeah, you're gone, man. So today I have Miss Gila Jed on the show with me, and I'm going to, before I introduce her, I have some important announcements I need to share with everybody. Number one, I am so excited about this, actually, all these things. So number one is I have a new channel. It's called How I Heal Everything. It's on YouTube, and that channel is devoted only to healing. So I'm covering different health topics, whether it's hair loss, which is the last one I did, adrenals, cancer, stomach, heart, whatever, you know, all these different topics on each show. I'm going to be covering a new topic. I only have 3 videos up right now because it's a brand new channel. But the goal with each show is to teach you how I've healed all the different things I've healed, or my family members, how I've been able to help them heal, how I've helped my clients heal themselves over the years. And I'm going to eventually have medical experts. And when I say medical, we're not talking allopathic big pharma. We're talking naturopaths, chiropractors, healers, you know, different healers. I will have expert healers on the show to talk about their different methods, whether it's adrenals or viruses or whatever. They will be on that channel. So the link to that channel is in the description below. And you can find it there. The next big announcement I have is that I am doing my first ever in-person women's retreat. It's a self-care and healing retreat. It's going to be in May of this coming year, May of 2024, in Lake Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And we have 3 of us teachers and 1 surprise healer that's coming. It's myself, Reverend Sarah Nash, and Rosemary. Oh gosh, I always Levesque. I always mispronounce her name because it looks like Levesque, but it's Levesque is, I think, how you pronounce it properly. So hopefully I didn't butcher her name too badly. So we will be teaching you all kinds of things. You'll go away from the weekend rejuvenated and regenerated and healed with a whole tool bag. We're giving out a $300 value goodie bag with all kinds of stuff in it to each participant. We could charge $3,000 for this retreat, but we're charging $777 if you register early. And the reason that we're doing that is we want to make it as affordable as possible. We're barely going to make any money. We're just covering our expenses and maybe have a little to cover gas and whatever. But our gas, our air, our hotel, the house I'm renting to have this at, you know, that all has to be covered. So otherwise, if I wanted to make a lot of money, I would totally charge you you guys $3,000 and up. So it's going to be 777. I will put the link to the website for the retreat in the description as well. I have an actual website that was created by one of our instructors at the retreat, Reverend Sarah Nash. She is an amazing website designer. And so she created a beautiful site for that. And that tells you the curriculum, what you're going to learn on the retreat. It's a Thursday night through Monday morning if you want to stay that long, or Thursday through Sunday, depending on what activities you want to participate in. Then the next thing is that I am offering sound healing sessions right now, and they are 45 minutes to an hour long, using singing bowls, tuning forks, and my voice, using my voice. And everybody who knows me, who follows my channel, knows that I do singing videos on here from time to time. And Yeshua told me I'm supposed to be using my voice to heal people, so I'm trying to do more of that. So I'm now offering these, and what we do is we're going to spend the first 15 to 20 minutes kind of assessing what's going on in your body, what chakras are blocked, what are all your health issues you're suffering with. And then I'm going to channel from Creator, from Source, a customized sound healing for you, where you lay down on your bed, hopefully, or sit in your chair, whatever, and you get a whole sound bath with the tuning forks and the voice and then the singing bowls. And I'm really excited about that. And that is on, if you contact me through my website, I don't have the info about that on my website, but if you contact me through my website and just say, I want a sound healing session, you will be sent the link to my scheduler where you can go and schedule it and all of that. And I'm charging $111, I believe, or I think it's something like that. Yeah. For a 1 hour sound healing session. So anyways, I'm done with all my announcements. I just wanted to say all that. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about Gila. So I've been following her for, oh my gosh, 2 or 3 years. I don't know how long. And she is Jewish. I don't, are you Orthodox, or are you? Yeah, Orthodox Jewish. And I'm having her on today because I am just over the top peeved off with all of you people in the truther and patriot community who've gone full-blown anti-Semitic against Jews. I'm just sick and tired of the anti-Semitism. I cannot even stand it anymore. Yeshua, the Christ, was a Jew, for heaven's sakes. Okay, he was a Jew. And so for you to be lumping every Jew in with all of the cabal reptilian ones, that's just not okay. And so today we're going to talk about this because the anti-Semitism and the truther movement and patriot movement is just, it's bullshit. It's ridiculous. And it's going to stop now if I have anything to say about it. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of other stuff. So Gila, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm enjoying. We spoke for an hour before we started recording, and I feel like we're sisters. I feel so close to you. I feel like we're definitely on some energetic wavelength together.
Awesome. So can you tell everybody a little about your channel? Because, you know, the one thing I can tell them about you is that every message you deliver is so loving and so positive. I've never, ever seen you say anything fear-based. I've never seen you say anything mean. You're just always listening to you. You're always like smiling and positive and full of this vivacious energy. And if I'm feeling like crap, all I have to do is turn on your video and I get like a boost, because you have, your energy just comes right out, like this positive high vibe. You're just so high vibe and it just radiates. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about like your channel, like how and when you started it and what you do with that and your work that you're doing?
Yeah, no, it came out of nowhere right when COVID hit. I was like, I think I was clicked on then, like I was a sleeper cell that God was like, okay, it's go time for you. And it was the only outlet I had, because everyone in my family was sick of me talking. So I was like, I have so much to say. So it was just became an outlet for me to talk to people who, and the comments are so amazing, because whenever I put a video out, I just find my people. I find people who think it's gives me a community. Makes me feel not alone. And And in terms of being positive, my mother was going to name me a totally different name. And then at the last minute, she named me Gila, which is joy, which I think it got channeled to her. But that's the vibration. Yeah, Gila is happiness and joy. So
Wow.
it's definitely part of my soul's mission to, inspire that in others. And I'm happy to hear that you're feeling that for me. That makes me feel like I'm on purpose, which is the best feeling.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then also you're friends with this guru guy he reminds me of a rabbi. He's very rabbi-like.
Yeah.
And he's also very positive and has a lot of really good information. And he's also a patriot. And it just blows me away that there's this huge chunk of the Jewish community that is very much Trump supporters. And I didn't even know that until I found out about Dr. Zelenko and you and Guru. And then you've got the son-in-law of the president. I mean, it's obvious that not all Jewish people are radical liberals. Okay.
Right.
Because the ones that I know and I've known in my life have been very liberal. They've been very liberal. So for me to see a group of patriots that are Jewish patriots, and a fair amount of them, I'm finding out there's a lot of Jewish people that are Trump
You're on the
supporters.
West Coast. Come to the East Coast. It's totally different.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's mostly Trump. This is Trump land here. And there's a lot of religious, most of the 90% of the religious community in New York is like, we're all Trumpers. We're all.
Yeah. West Coast is so radical liberal.
It is brutal. I have a sister in California, and she's just like, she's in that bubble with you, and it's really toxic. It's so hard.
And they're not just Jewish people that are radical liberals. It's just radical liberals. The whole western side of Oregon, Washington, and California too, is just a long strip of radical liberals. You've got a few conservatives mixed in that are suffering, surrounded by all these people. And then the eastern parts of all these states are conservative. So Eastern Washington wants to split from Western Washington. Eastern Oregon is already putting forth legally to try to separate from Western Oregon. And the same thing in California. You go
I
east.
wonder why that is. Do you have an explanation for that?
No, it's just so weird to me that I think it's the big cities versus the country life. So I noticed that the liberals have this need to live in these big cities. We don't have big cities on the eastern sides, we don't have them.
Right, because as you get into Manhattan, you cross over the bridges, it starts turning liberal. It's true.
Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing. It's just I don't get it. And it's like this East versus West thing. West means liberal, East means I just don't get it. I don't get it. I wonder if anybody out there in our audience can figure out what is it with the East versus West thing. It's just crazy. I mean, even like if you look at the South, to us, that's the East Coast, like the Trump supporters and like Florida, we're talking Florida. To us, that's serious East Coast. Like East Coast, big time.
Yeah, no, they're all over there. That's the heartland for Trump.
So, I don't know. It's strange. So let's talk about this miasma or whatever you want. I don't know what you want to call this, but it's a real problem in the Patriot community. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get lawsuit. I don't want to get in a fight. There's specific people who I know of. I mean, if you want to name names, you can, but I'm not going to name names of people who I know because I just don't do that. But there is a bunch of people in the Patriot community that are taking and saying that all the Jews are these Zionists and they're all part of the cabal. And what Yeshua told me was that there's only 12% of all Jews that are involved with that. And they're not real Jews. They're pretending to be Jews, but they're actually reptilians. So that means that the rest of those people who are the real Jews don't have anything to do with that whatsoever. So for people to be lumping all the Jews in and calling them all Zionists and Khazarians, I've seen so many people posting on my Facebook friends. I have friends by the tons posting all this crap, lumping all the Jews in with the Khazarians. And I'm sorry, but that's just lies, lies, and more lies. Jews are being used as the scapegoat again. This is like a repeat of World War II, where Jews were used as a scapegoat by the Nazis. And I want to point out to everyone who's watching this, Hitler was a reptilian. Okay, he wasn't a human, he was a reptilian, number one. Number two, he actually murdered 12 million people. 6 million of them were Jews, and he purposely did that because he was conjuring demons. So he actually had a goal of conjuring these really big demons onto planet Earth and opening a huge portal. And in order to do that, he had to sacrifice 12 million people. That was actually part of the agreement with Satan or Lucifer, that he had to sacrifice 12 million humans. So he used the Jews as a scapegoat because he was pissed at them for whatever reason, because of his mom. I don't know. He had some mom anger issues. His mother was Jewish. And so he's like, okay, well, who can I scapegoat? Because I need a reason to be able to murder. It's like he needed a reason to murder 12 million people. So he picked a specific audience of people to do that. But I feel like they're doing this all over again, where, oh yeah, it's all the Jews' fault because of the bank. They're blaming the Jews for the banking system. They're blaming the Jews for this and for that. I mean, I'm watching the feed in my Facebook and just in horror going, what the hell? So tell me, what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? And what do you feel about all this?
Well, it was shocking because the part of being in the Truth Patriot community is finally understanding that the planet has been run by the secret societies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who aren't Jews? They're Satanists, right? And what they've been doing is doing their evil practices and calling, on the Jews to take the fall. They do the, evil banking, the child sacrifices, the blood libels, the pogroms that happened because they said Jews baked blood into the matzahs for Passover. I'm like, that, and now it makes sense, Kimberly. I'm like, yeah. they were very into blood and blood sacrifice and doing all the things with blood, and they would do the evil and then say the Jews are doing this evil, and then the Jews would get killed. Mm-hmm. So now that the truth community has uncovered this truth, why are they still calling the bad people Jews when they know better? They can say Satanist, they can say reptilian, they can say a million other descriptions, but to say Jew at this point is like saying Christian, is like saying black, it's like taking a group of people and throwing them under the bus so the cabal continues to get away with what they do. And you would think awakened people would be the ones to say, guys, let's stop saying Jew, but they're not. There's a big segment that are, I think, taking this infiltration and doing the bidding of this evil element that has worked their way into the Patriot community, the controlled opposition or whatever you want to call it, that have sprinkled and speckled and really tarnished the truth community with anti-Semitism. And the people that are doing the work by spreading it on Telegram, posting it on Facebook and Instagram, they don't realize, like you told me in private, they're not coming to along with to the higher timeline because they're perpetuating a hate narrative. So this is a clarion call, a wake-up call. If you're doing this, if you're saying Jew instead of Satanist, instead of cabal, there's like at least 500 words, reptilian, that you could be using. And if you're putting pictures of people and saying a Jewish star by their name and saying Jew, Zionist, you are acting like the Nazis did in the 1930s, who tried to set up the Jews to take the fall for the cabal, to take the fall for the reptilians. And you are doing, it's the same playbook. And why people aren't understanding this is beyond me, Kimberly. I'm like, they're supposed to be the ones who are spreading truth, and they're reverting backwards. They're falling into a trap. And this is a warning to them. Like, pick your timeline right now. Is it a timeline of love and ascension, or a timeline of a Nazi time? Yeah. You're going backwards. So I'm happy to have this opportunity to discuss it with you. It's such a conflict for me, because I understand that in the mainstream world, they wanted us to cry anti-Semitism, right? There's a whole, the ADL is set up by bad, the ADL is a reptilian organization, I think, because they want to keep Jews feeling oppressed, right? They want to, just like they want to keep the Black people feeling discriminated against, because that spins the wheels of victim narrative. You know, I don't want to stay a victim. I don't want to be a victim. But inside the truth community, I can't let it fly. I'm not saying it from a victimhood standpoint. I'm saying it from, it ends here. Like you said, it ends here. We're not going to let you carte blanche just continue to spew hatred for Jews.
Badmouth them. Yeah.
I'm saying it from an empowered position. I'm saying it's enough. Jews are smarter. There are Jews out here that are wise to this, and we're not going to allow you to say all Ashkenazi Jews are evil. We're not. That's not cool. If you're saying that, you're part of a reptilian narrative, and you might not know it.
Yeah.
And I love calling out Jason Q, because that guy is like ground zero of Jew hatred. He went on the.
I noticed that. I noticed that he says horrible things against Jews all the time.
I've heard him say on the Truth Tour, it's recorded. He said, "What is kosher? Kosher is when they cut the feet off of small children and let the blood drain." I heard him say that. That's not what kosher is at all. Kosher is not milk and meat, having separate dishes. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually a humane way of slaughtering animals. And for him to say that, he's revealing himself.
Yeah, he's revealing that he's part of the opposition and he's bad, because Jewish people, there are no real Jews. Real Jews worship God like if you're a real Jew, you worship the creator, not Satan. Okay. Anybody who worships Satan or Lucifer is not a Jew. In order to be a Jew, you have to actually worship creator. You have to worship source, and you have to be a good person and follow all the laws, which are the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet. You know, I mean, real Jews follow the 10 commandments. They do all these things, you know, I mean, that's what we were teaching when I was an Essene Jew. I was a Jew in my past life. Okay. And I was teaching all these things, and we were following the 10 commandments.
And Judaism is about character refinement, is about v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Rabbi Akiva said that, love your fellow like yourself. It's Judaism is about, at its heart and its finest understanding, is about holiness, communion with God, and loving creation, period.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, I grew up surrounded by lots of Jews. I grew up in a huge Jewish community, and I never ever once met any Jewish family that did any bad things at all. They all went to temple every week to God, and they lived very holy lives and they were very good people. I've never ever met a Jewish person who, in my life personally, who was evil or bad. Okay. I've never met such a person. I've met ones that are liberals, but I haven't met ones that are bad. I mean, they all believe in God, you know.
But that, at the end of the day, Kimberly, is just the MK mind control that these poor people,
and it's just awful. I mean, my high school was across the street from the synagogue, and the neo-Nazis would go and vandalize the synagogue all the time and march in front of it and do their thing. And even then, when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I was like watching that going, what freaking evil? How evil is that? And I mean, I was a kid and I already knew that was evil. You can't, that kind of behavior is not okay. And all of these people in the Patriot truther community that are spreading this stuff, number one, they are not working for the light. That's number one. Number two, they are not ascending. They are not ascending, because in order to ascend, you have to be love-based, service to humanity. Sitting and pointing the finger at people and throwing them under the bus just because, and judging them like that, is not loving.
And you know what, Kimberly? I try to put myself in the position, like, let's say they were doing this. Let's say they put up a picture of 12 different Christians, and they would write by the name Christian. I would be like, no, each human being stands on their own. You don't label,
you don't label anyone
anymore. We're not lumping, we're not generalizing. That is cabal mindset. That
is a cabal mindset. It's division and separation.
Exactly. So how do they not see it? Like, how do the people, like, on the Telegram channels that have these big followings, how do they not see that? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I got actually attacked several times recently by Christians telling me I was going to hell because I was a Catholic. Okay. Up until 9 years ago, I was practicing hardcore Catholicism. And I had, over the course of years and decades, tons of these radical Christians telling me I'm not a Christian and I'm going to hell. And I was like shaking my head going, okay, I've been talking to Yeshua since I was 2 and I've been following him my whole life. How is that not a Christian? I don't understand. And it's this radical, crazy, hating, judgmental
Yeah.
mindset.
It's the doctrination, the dogma, and
Yeah.
it does make up a significant portion of the Patriot community. It's very Christian, hardcore, salvation-minded people. And I think everybody's going to be in for a little bit of a rude awakening, you know, like to shake them loose of their
Yeah.
own. Judaism also, I'm not saying that Jews, we are a heavily indoctrinated crew also.
Yeah.
So everybody, the best advice that I think we could give is to just be easy and loose with whatever you've been taught. Be willing to be like,
Open
maybe
mind.
we're indoctrinated. Maybe that's not exactly how how it is, and that's how you'll be able to go with the flow when the shit hits the fan. Finally, you're gonna do yourself a service to not hold tight to anything but God Himself, Prime Creator Himself.
Yeah. And Gila and I were talking before we came on the recording about the fact that out in space, all of the ETs like the Andromedans, the Venusians, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, all these guys, they don't have religions. Okay. Religions were created on Earth by the Cabal to control humanity. There is just the law of one, or the laws of one. And the 10 Commandments is taken from the law. And actually, I was telling Gila that Moses did not go up on a mountain and get the 10 Commandments from God. He actually went up into a mothership, and the good ETs, the good ones, the galactics, gave him those laws because those are part of the law of one. And the reason he was given those is because humanity was going crazy at that time. They were killing each other, raping and pillaging and warring, and they were acting like psychopaths. And so the ETs actually intervened and gave those laws. And the reason they gave those laws was to help chill out everybody on this planet, because people were going AWOL and they were on the way to self-destruction. Humans were going on their route to self-destruction. And so the 10 Commandments put an end to the self-destruct mode that humanity was already headed for back thousands of years ago when Moses got those 10 Commandments. So he was up in a
It was a
ship.
little bit of a a playbook that we needed
Mhm.
to abide by to survive.
Yeah. And, one of them is not to interfere in people's free will. And we know the Cabal has taken that away with those things that they're sticking into people and,
Right.
lying about them and telling everybody, oh, it's a cure and get this to save your grandma and blah, 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 blah. They're stealing. If they really told everybody that that's a bioweapon, if they were to come on the TV and say, oh, go line up and take this thing, it's a bioweapon and you'll be dead within, a week or a year or whatever, do you think anybody would have taken it? No, they've stolen our free will, and that is against the laws of one, which are the laws of the universe. And that is why we have ETs that are here helping our planet to remove these psychopaths from this world. They've been running this world for 11,500 years now, these Draco reptilians, which is a long time, and they're being removed from our planet now. Finally.
You reminded me of something I learned as a kid. Something it's called, the concept in the Torah is tinok shenishba, meaning you're a baby held captive. When your free will is taken, it's as if you're a baby that was taken into captivity and never learned the truth. And God gives a lot of leeway. This is what Judaism teaches, that you're not really held accountable if you're in that status of a tinok, a baby that was held and taken into captivity. So that we were really all babies, like you're talking about babies taken into captivity. So I think that you don't have to beat yourselves up if you did things that you're not proud of or you have regret about, and just get wiser, be open to new information. Like I'm open to the information that Moses was taken onto a ship, and that will explode the heads of like 90% of the people out there that are Orthodox Jews, because we take the Bible so literally. We take the Bible just like the story says, but there's probably a very different version that's closer to the truth.
Yeah,
that we weren't taught, that was held back from us.
Absolutely. And the thing is that I told this to people over and over again. I mean, the original Bible was 4 feet tall. They removed 700 plus books. There were 777 books. They only give you what they want you to know, and people need to start to learn that. And every single religious person on this planet, whether they are Islam, Judaism, or Christianity, when that solar flash thing hits and you're fully awake and you know who you are and you remember everything, they're going to be in mortal shock that they've been lied to for all this time. And they've been totally under this dark mind spell of all of these lies. Because religion is all created to divide and conquer and separate us and turn us against each other. Look at all the wars that have been fought, Jew against Christian and Jew against Islam. And, and then even within Islam, they have different sects, the Sufis and the this and that, all killing each other, all the different sects of Islam, they're warring with each other. I mean, and even in Christianity, you've got certain sects of Christians pointing their finger at other Christians and saying, you're not going to heaven because you don't go to my church. I've heard that for years, oh, unless you go to my church, you're not going to heaven. It's like, what? Their pastor taught them that. It's like, it's sick. It's sick behavior. It's sick ideology. It's a sickness that needs to be cured from this planet forever. It needs to be completely cleansed and purified.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what just hit me? That the Jewish people, I've always been taught that the Torah, the Bible, the 10 Commandments were offered to a lot of different nations, and they said no. But if you think of it as like a portion of the law of one, it's interesting. And the Jewish people said yes, and we've been protecting this piece of galactic information that they're trying to uplift. And we've been holding this light, let's call it a light. The Torah is a light. And we've been persecuted. Why are we extra persecuted? Why even in the truther community are we still being persecuted? It's because of this light, I think, that tries to keep society morally upright and connected to God. And that's their downfall. They understand that the more we awaken to the intimacy we have with Prime Creator, that's the end of them. So they try to come after, I think, the people who hold the light, and that's why they're disguised inside the truth community. They're using the truth community as a weapon as well.
Yeah, as you're talking, I'm getting this visual of the menorah and how the menorah needed to go for the story of the menorah, how they only had enough oil for the lamp to go like a day or something, and instead it lasted like 8 days. And that's kind of, the Jewish people are kind of like the light of the world in a way, and that's why they say, well, why are the Jews the chosen people? And it's not, I mean, I'm like, well, why are they chosen to be persecuted? Because they've been persecuted since the beginning of, I don't think it's that they were chosen. I don't think they were ever chosen. I think that they made the choice. I think the Jews were the first group of people to make a choice to worship the Prime Creator, to worship God. They were the first ones.
I never heard it said that way. That is brilliant. That was, you just channeled that. They're not chosen. They chose.
I did channel that, by the way. A lot of times when I'm talking on these videos, I'm just channeling. So yeah,
that hit me. I felt that in my left kidney. That when you said that, I felt that in my body. That was huge.
I felt it right in my heart space. But it's not that they were chosen. They made a choice. What did they make a choice? They made the choice to be the first on this earth to worship and have a relationship with Prime Creator.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but they were infiltrated at some point. Judaism was infiltrated. So I want you all to understand about the origins of Judaism. Judaism in its purest form, when it began, was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. But just like Christianity was infiltrated by Constantine, which I wrote about in my book, Walking with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. I wrote a whole book explaining about this, that the original church was called the Way. It wasn't called the Christian church. It was called the Way because Yeshua was showing you the way to God. Okay. He was the way. Through him, his teachings was the way to have a relationship with Creator. The thing is that everybody has this belief. Where was I going with this? My mind, I was getting so many thoughts at once. Sometimes I'll channel like 5 thoughts at the same time and they all blow each other up in my head. And it's just kind of like, my head's like having a war. Okay. The thing is that the first Christian religion was not what it is today. It's been completely infiltrated in so many ways, which I've talked about on multiple videos. It's in my book. Jewish religion, the same thing with Islam. The beginnings of Islam was probably very pure, but at some point something went in there, or someone went in there and infiltrated the
Hijacked.
heck out of
Yeah,
it.
they get hijacked. Yeah.
Yeah, they hijack all of these religions, because you have to understand, everybody, that when these people started these spiritual practices, they had good intentions with it, and it was all about having a relationship with God the way they wanted to. Now, remember, there's not one truth, and there's no one way to the truth. There's millions and billions, infinite numbers of ways to the truth, and we all each hold our own truth. What is true for me and my beliefs is not true for you or for Gila. Gila still practices Judaism. I practice zero religion. I practice spirituality. That's what I practice, is spirituality. And the thing is we all each have our own belief and our own way of the truth. But what has happened is all of these people who started these religions, they had their way to the truth, and they said, here's this new spiritual system I'm going to create to teach people how to have a relationship with God. And then they went and they started that. And then the reptilians go, ooh, I see those people. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to infiltrate that.
Right.
And
I'm going to make it about perfectionism. I'm going to make it about
Yeah.
judgment. I'm going to make it about the nitty gritty. Like my problem with Judaism is that they keep layering on top of the practice, like how you can do it better, how to keep kosher to the millionth degree, how to, and it makes you OCD. There's a thing called religious OCD where people, they're not using the physical practice as a means to connect to God spiritually. Like what I love about Judaism is that the physical practice is a gateway, a door, a portal to the divine, a communion. Like if I'm lighting Shabbos candles, like I'm taking 10 minutes to light a candle, sit there and channel and my intentions toward and my heart towards God. And I don't know that if I didn't have that practice, that I would take the time out every Friday exactly at sundown to do that, disconnect for 24 hours. Like the practice of Judaism does always, when I'm doing it right, it brings me back into intimacy with God. And that's why that's why I still do it, and I love it. And it's not about one person outdoing the other, one person looking more orthodox than the other. That is when it got crazy. That is when it got out of control. And that's, I think, the hijacking of Judaism.
Absolutely. And what she's talking about, it's a ritual practice. It's something I teach people when I'm doing private sessions with clients, and I'm teaching them how to set up a spiritual practice. Like I have an altar, and on the altar, I have pictures of Yeshua. I've got angels. I've got little angel statues. I've got a big statue of Archangel Michael. I've got Raphael on there because I'm a healer, and Raphael supports all the healers. And I go to that altar when I want to pray, or I'll put pictures of people on that I want to be healed, or stuff like that. It's what we call a ritual or a spiritual practice. And it's what helps me get to know God better or connect better with God. Everybody has their way, their personal way of connecting with source. Okay. And Jewish people, whether they're lighting the Shabbos candles every Friday night or whatever it is that they're doing, it's all a ritual for them to get to know Creator better, because, and to have that.
You know what, Kimberly? Yeah. These bodies are included in the Ascension. It's not like we're going to cast off these bodies. These bodies are going to take us to this higher interface with God, right?
Yeah.
So we can't. That's why Judaism speaks to me so much, because it doesn't forget about the body. Like we dip in the mikvah, like the ritual purifying waters. We use this body in service to God, and that's right. What do you know about? We're going to take the corporeal body and mix it with the ethereal, and that's going to be part of this ascension journey. Correct?
Yep. And the mikvah thing is something the Essenes practice. It's what I did in my last life when I was an Essene.
Really?
We had to go in the mikvah every day, every single day.
That's very
cool. In order to earn the white robe that they gave you, that was all part of it. You had to be clean. You had to wash your hands all the time. They were constantly washing. They were overly clean.
Yeah. Every time there's a way I wash before bread. There's a way I wash after I go to the bathroom. There's all these laws about washing and purifying the body, because
it's about purification of the body is really what it's all about.
Right. It's about utilizing the body and the DNA. I think everything is coded in here. And as the DNA wakes up and remembers, all the Akashic records are in here. Everything is here.
Yep, we have it.
It's not about transcending the body. It's about utilizing the body. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is why I'm sitting here and having horrific hot sweating because my body is going, and I've said this in prior videos, and I don't know if you've seen my video, Gila, where I talked to Yeshua and I asked him, I said, why am I sweating every 20 minutes? I went to 3 doctors who tested my blood and said, because I went through menopause 10 years ago, and they said, you should not be sweating. Your hormones are normal. We don't know why you're sweating. And I just laughed at all 3 of those doctors and said, I know exactly why I'm sweating. And then my last doctor, I actually told her, I shared it with her, and she was a naturopath, so she was open-minded. So I gave her a 1-hour lecture on what the Ascension was. Because my body, I explained my body is being changed. What Yeshua said to me is, he said, we have to make you from sand into glass, is how he said it. Because he says everything in parables.
Carbon to crystal.
Yeah. He said, Kimberly, we are turning you from sand into glass. We have to heat you up and cool you down. He said, if the originally there was going to be this great solar flash that was just going to hit, but he said it would have literally disintegrated every human on Earth.
Decimated.
You would have been disintegrated because our physical body wasn't ready. So we're getting little flashes, little solar flashes.
That's a kindness of God. That's a kindness of God. Yeah. I feel it too. I feel the upgrade. That's crazy to say. Like, I feel different all the time.
Yeah. Constantly. So we're being upgraded every day. This started for me in December of 2011 is when it started really hitting me. But like the hot flashes started about 4 years ago. And that's because we started really, really fast forwarding into this ascension energy. Our DNA is activating. I'm at 11 strands right now. So are you. I was at 2 before 2011. I was at 2 strands. And so now here I am at 11 activated. Our bodies are going crystalline more and more every time I'm having those hot flashes. In fact, there were 3 days in a row where I had weird glitter, like diamonds all over my face. And I look in the mirror and I look like one of the vampires from, what's that movie called? I forgot that movie where they have the vampires and when they go out in the sun, their body looks like diamonds and it glistens.
Yeah, I forgot the name.
So anyway, so I couldn't get them off either. Like I scraped them and they wouldn't come off. And I'm like, what the heck? And I asked, okay, why is it that I have this stuff? And they said, this is what your whole body, they said, we're giving you kind of a preview of what your whole body is going to look like really soon. Yeah. And then it was gone after that. They did it to me for 3 days. They were trying to get my attention because they were trying to give me this message that this is what I'm going to look like. But my face was covered with these like little, I can't even explain it. It was like thousands of little diamonds all over my skin, and it was like glistening. And once I had a chat with them and said, okay, you're obviously, there's something going on. Once I had that talk, then it went away and I haven't had it again, but they said that it's going to be head to toe like that. So
very exciting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that's what I heard about Moses, actually. When he came back down from the mountain, he
was glowing.
He had to wear a face covering because it scared the people. They would look at his face and get frightened. So he had to start wearing a mask because I think he came down more crystalline, like you're saying.
Yeah, he actually, how do I want to put this? Okay, he just said, I just heard the word transfiguration. It's like transfigure or transformation. So he was probably like in his 3D body before he ascended up the mountain. And then when they took him up there, he came down in a 5D.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We have language for it now.
Right. Right. And so that's basically because he went through a transfiguration process. That's the word that I'm getting. So
an upgrade. He was upgraded.
He was up. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, he did glow, and he was like diamonds. He was like glow. In fact, he was like glowing like a lighthouse. Like he was just glowing.
The light was shining from his face.
It was like literally shining from his face, like a light, like an angel, really. Like really like an angel, because they showed me what he looked like. They showed me like what it looked like. And it literally looked like this like beam of this bright, like white, like light. And I was really mesmerized. I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, but yeah, it's just, I mean, thank God, thank you, Creator, that I was born with the gifts that I have. So I'm able to see this stuff. I have this clairvoyance, and I'm able to see everything in movies, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so tell me, my big question for you is, what percentage of the Jewish people that you know do you think understand that we're going through an ascension, that we have this great awakening happening? How many of them do you think are awake and aware about it?
So the majority of the Orthodox community have this predictive programming, like we call it, of the Yemos HaMashiach, the age of redemption, building of the third temple. Like, this is what we've been longing for, praying for thousands of years. So we have language for it, and we have the expectation of it. So that is a very good thing, even though it's going to be a little, I think, maybe different than the linear and literal way that we have been taught it. I think it's going to be like more of a galactic experience, and we were never taught that. We were never taught, anything like that. But I think that because we have the basics of it, they're going to be prepared for this event that's coming, whatever it is. And it says in the Torah, that Hashem will zarach, Hashem is going to take the sheath off the sun. So we know it's going to be a solar event. That's also been programmed. When I talk to people, I like a lot of conversations I'll start with, like, Mashiach, like we're in like Mashiach is here. I'll say to them, Mashiach, like, this is it. With this, what do you think COVID was? If not the start, the onset of this new time period. And a lot of them can really say, yeah, even the ones that took the shot, even though they feel a difference. They give me that recognition and the nod and the understanding that this is different than any other time. Some people don't, but I would say in terms of percentages, when I say, we're in the Yemos HaMashiach, 75% of people get a smile on their face.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's very encouraging. Yeah.
That's beautiful. While you were saying that, I was actually getting a download from the team, and you know what they said?
What they say? What they say?
They said humans, just like I was told about the Revelations book, that it's predictive programming. Remember what I told you earlier? The reptilians cannot create, so they use us to create.
Right.
All of the Jewish people all over the world who are focused on that Mashiach coming, the Mashiach, friends of mine, I have friends who are Jewish, who have talked about this for years, since going back to childhood, the Mashiach's coming, the Mashiach, it's like, and they're waiting, right? They are actually creating that and making it happen faster. And they're actually like almost like holding like a space holder for all of this.
Yes.
Like a space holder for the event, because they've been setting it up for such a long time, and they've been focusing their attention, because focused intention is everything, right?
Yeah.
And so they've been focusing their intention, which creates, because whatever we think, whatever we say, whatever we speak, we are creating. Just like the word abracadabra is a Hebrew word, which is, as I speak, I create.
Exactly. It's magic.
So every time a Jewish person is saying the Mashiach is coming, the Mashiach, every time they are saying that, they are ushering it in quicker and quicker and quicker, and they are speeding up the time-space continuum.
Well, I say he's
making
here.
it roll out.
I say it's here.
Yeah.
I want to shift it from waiting, the waiting game. It's already here. Open your eyes. This is the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, open your eyes. It's here.
Yeah.
We just have to open our eyes. And when I hear those words, open your eyes, it's opening that third eye, opening the ability to see how 5D Earth is already here, and it's a matter of lifting the veil for yourself.
Right. We need to lift the veil. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is here. It's here. It's just a matter of that curtain slowly lifting. But I don't like to say waiting. I don't want to get caught in the waiting game anymore. It's here. We just have to ground it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So do you feel that majority of the Jewish people are going to make it through this ascension, or do you think there's going to be like a huge percent that are not? How do you feel about that right now?
It's a great question. I think, like you said before, if you're service to self, you ain't making it. No matter Jew, Christian.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are.
You're out of count. But if you're a Jew, if you have a flexibility of spirit, if you have a certain spiritual flexibility to say, wait a second, maybe Mashiach is going to be a galactic spaceship. If you have that, it's going to be a lot smoother for you. It's going to be less.
I think it's going to be an easier transition.
Exactly. So start like releasing the death grip off everything being so literal in Judaism, and understanding that our minds will be blown, but take it in with joy, take it in with wonder, curiosity, not fear. And it's going to be exhilarating. It's going to be like the ride of our lives.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Yeshua. His sense of humor. He's always saying funny things. He's constantly being funny. He's quite a joker.
I like that about him.
Yeah, he's got such a huge sense of humor. So what did he say? He said, yeah, he said the awake aware ones are dragging the others along, kicking and screaming.
We are. That's how I feel.
Kicking and screaming, he said. And he like showed me, he was like pulling, he was like
yeah. That's exactly what it feels like right now. That's why I started that answers you. That's why I started my channel, to start softening the consciousness, to look like a crazy person putting crazy ideas out there. But you know what? They'll have heard it from the dentist in their community. But oh, Gila said that, and it won't be as frightening for them. That's my real intention, is to make the shift less frightening for people when it comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I wrote the book Ascension 101. It's to help people make it through. Everything that you need to know is in that guidebook to help you through these times that we're going through. I'm gonna
have to get myself a copy of that also.
I'll send you one when we come off of here.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of my book also. It's like a spiritual roadmap of how to cultivate a relation, an intimacy with God. It's how I did it over the years, and certain testimony and stories about my ascension. And I think that book came out of me for now to help other people. Like you said, that's what the Essenes would do. Like, this is my way of communing with God. Take from it what could help you. Mm-hmm. So that was my intention with my book as well.
Can you share with everybody, please, the name of your book? Do you have it there? You want to show everybody? Okay.
It's somewhere back here. Okay. It's called The Center of All Things, which is Prime Creator. Which is
pretty. Pretty.
My daughter made this heart. It's a heart, but when you open up the heart, it's like Technicolor inside everybody.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about.
So do you have a website where people can go to buy that?
I don't. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. Okay. If you can give me a link, I'll put it in the description underneath the video.
That would
just give me the link, and everybody go get her book and check it out, because everything Gila does that I've seen since I've been following her is 100% positive and pure love, just pure love and positive.
I try my best. Thank you. And I'm so happy you reached out to me for this interview. I feel your sincerity. I trust you. You feel to me like a trusted authority. That's the vibe I get. A trusted authority. Like, I could come to you with my questions, and it's no BS. It's this, it's that. It's this, it's that. Like, you know right away. Mm-hmm. What's going. Like, we had a really juicy conversation that we're not going to have online, but it was like, she understands who's who and what's what, and she has the vision for it. So you're a trusted authority in my book. You really are. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just, I mean, the thing is I've been tapped in for my whole life. This goes back to childhood. My mom was psychic. My grandma was psychic. My great-grandma. I mean, this goes back hundreds.
I believe it's a lineage. I believe it's something in the genetic coding that you have those abilities.
Yeah. And I mean, every time I've had psychic people come to me for a reading, because we all go to other psychics, even though we're psychic, because you can't see your own personal stuff because your ego and your emotions get in the way. Yes. So you can't see it. It's like like the nose in front of your face.
Right.
So every time I ask a psychic person, why did you choose me? They say, because you're a clear and perfect channel to source. That's what their answer is. Every time.
My hairs are standing up right now. Yes. A clear and perfect channel. Yeah. I get that.
And the information that I provide is also love. I don't provide fear. I never ever put fear out into the world, because the boss is always standing, next to me here and behind me. In fact, I've been on videos with people and even conference calls and stuff with people who are psychic, and they freak out, and they're like, you have beings standing on either side of you. And then they're like, who's the guy with the beard and the white robe? And then I pick up my picture of Yeshua and I go, does it look like this? And they're like, yeah, that's him. And I just start busting up. People can see them standing next to me. They're always next to me. Every time I'm on a video, Every time I'm working with clients, they are always next to me,
Very fortunate.
talking in my head, telling me, giving me instructions, saying, say this, say that, you know.
Yeah, and the art is to get your ego out of the way and let that
Mhm.
clear channel be open. That's a real gift.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. I'm very grateful. And you know, Yeshua has told me repeatedly, he started telling me this back in 2011. He said, if you ever use your gifts to harm anyone or for malevolence or to lie or to do anything negative at all, he said, we will take them away from you.
Of course, yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
He said that. He said, we will take all of your gifts from you. And I've seen that happen too to psychics. I've had conversations with them on the phone where they've said, oh, I used to be psychic and then I lost all one day. I just lost all. And I'm like, okay, fess up. What were
Right.
you doing? What were
Right.
you doing? Because in order to like you lose everything all of a sudden when you have it and then suddenly it's just gone, it's like, what were you doing? Because you had to have done something that broke a code, or
Right.
you
Right.
don't
Broke the
just, it
contract.
doesn't just disappear just like that.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. That, or they're being demonically messed with, or, you know, there's entities, because I have had some clients who lost their abilities because they had entities interfering.
Right.
So that happens too.
Right. I guess it's better to lose the ability than to be used for bad, evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.
So I have a question for you before we sign off of here. What does, excuse me, sorry, burping here. What does the Torah, the Pentateuch, all those different things, what do they say about demons? Like, what information is in there? Do they talk about demons? Is that something they address in
Yeah,
the
big time. I'm
Jewish
not an
okay.
expert in it at all because it always freaked me out. I would always stay away from that information.
Mhm.
So no, they're very real.
Mhm.
They exist. And yeah, to keep your vessel as pure as possible. When the more you live in the heart space, use your heart to connect with God, they can't even see you. That's what I believe. Like
Like
you don't really have,
invisible. Yeah.
yeah, when you're vibrating at such a high frequency, and that's really the goal, is to get to a place where they don't even know you're there. They don't know you exist.
Celestine Prophecy. Did you ever see that movie where in the end they're holding hands and they all disappear and the armies, the bad guys can't see them? The bad guys come in and all the people disappear because they're in that really high frequency of love, of unconditional love, and they literally are made invisible. So the bad guys can't touch them.
That's the best divine protection you can give yourself, is to keep working on your character, keep working on the heart space, just keep tuning into your heart, tuning into your frequency and your connection with God, just by talking to him. What does that mean? That means just talk to him. It's so simple. We're the only creatures, we're called the Medaber, we're the speakers. More than plants, animals, we're the creatures that know how to make conversation, right? Make conversation in your head with God every day, and you will have the most beautiful relationship with him through the heart, and you will be invisible to the demons. The enemy cannot touch you. That's why I was never really afraid. For some reason, when I came out very vocally against the mask and I was like, I'm going to keep my energy so high that I'm going to stay safe. My family was telling me, stop, you're going to lose your practice, you're going to ruin your reputation. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. This is God's, when I'm on the side of God, nothing can touch me. It's the armor of God, and it's real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's kind of interesting because the way I learned about what Jewish people think of demons is from watching all these shows about ghost hunting and all that. And they showed what's called the Dybbuk box. And the Jewish people would trap the demons in this Dybbuk box, right? What do you think the word Dybbuk spells? Don't say it. Don't say the word. What is that backwards? Don't say it though, because you'll get me booted off of YouTube.
I can't figure it out. Okay, fine. I'll work.
If you do Dybbuk backwards, it's the name of that thing that they just gave us. It's the name of the thing that they just gave us.
Did you realize that? Who realized that?
I read a post about that, explaining that the Dybbuk was the Jewish word for demon, and it showed all about the history of the Dybbuk, and then it said And then I'll fast forward and it said something about, and then here's this illness and this is what it's called.
Right. So that
And it's
reminds me, like
basically demon backward in
when you
Jewish.
play like
Yeah.
the Beatles backwards, you ever hear those tapes and that like they
Yeah.
always put their messages in reverse.
Backwards.
Yeah. Ooh, it's creepy.
Yeah, I think they said when you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, it says live for Satan.
Right. I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, which isn't surprising because a lot of those bands, that's what they do.
We know. Great Awakening, now we know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
And you saw Madonna's in the hospital supposedly. And I just laughed and said, yeah, her clone is in the hospital.
It doesn't look the least bit
that
like
doesn't look anything like her. You can
come
say it's
on.
plastic surgery. I don't believe it.
No, that's
Yeah.
too weird. I mean,
Doesn't
that's
look-
part of the movie. That's the cue. Like this is the slow waking of humanity to the absurdity. It's got to get really absurd before people wake up.
Yeah. And I saw several celebrities, I got to tell you all this last week, female celebrities who I saw pictures of, and I looked at it and shook my head and said, that's not that celebrity.
No,
that is not that celebrity. That is either a clone or an actress or something, not that celebrity.
Yeah, no, I think that that's just part of the cue. The reversal of the psyop is to it's got to start, a little bit at a time to the point of ridiculousness, and then people will be like, wait a second, wait 1 second. It's taking a little longer than we thought, but I think it is happening. I think people are like understanding.
Well, I actually went to high school, and I'm not going to say the name of the person because I don't want to get in trouble, but I went to high school with somebody who's one of the most famous female singers in the Illuminati or whatever you want to call it. And she was totally killed and replaced.
Yeah.
Because the one who's in her position now doesn't look anything like her at all. Like
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I even went just to make sure because I could tell just by looking at her it wasn't her. But then I went and I looked at side-by-side pictures. And I'm like, oh my God, the ears are different. The face, the shape of the bone structure, completely different. The eye shape, completely different. The forehead, complete. I mean, it's so obvious. It's not even, it's like, how are people missing this? I just pull my hair out going, what the hell? How can you look? It's like 1 minute she looks like this, then she disappears. And then now she looks like this and you can't tell it is a different person. I mean, seriously?
I know, because they're not looking. It's just a way of numbing, music, movies, all this is a way of keeping us numb and mind controlled, and they're not looking.
Right. And oh my gosh, it blew my mind, Gila. Oh my God. I found on the Disney Plus channel, my kids had to have Disney Plus, and I'm sorry, they won't listen to me because they're not awake. Right. So they have their Disney Plus. I was watching Marvel because Marvel's a big disclosure. They have a new show called The Secret Invasion. And guess what that's about?
Galactics?
Shape-shifting reptilians that take over the planet.
Right. So I think that's a kindness also, that the concept will be there for them when they have, because the problem is that, oh, that's just TV. But no. That's not just TV, that they're telling you what's really going on.
Yeah, they land, except they're saying that it's in modern days now, but these son of a bleeps have been here for 11,500 years, but they're showing that they crash landed with these big ships on our planet, and now there's 1 million of them here, and they can turn into whatever they want to look like. They can look like you, they can look like me, they can make themselves look however they want to look because they're shape-shifting to look like that. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't shown how they shapeshift yet, like what it is that they're doing to be able to shapeshift, because we know what it is. They drink a certain fluid that comes out of children and babies that they torture. So, but they haven't showed that on Marvel, but it's only episode number 2 that they have up. They don't have any more than 2 episodes. So maybe they'll show that at some point, how it is that they're able to shapeshift, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they just say, oh, they can shapeshift. But
it introduces the concepts. This is why I think the white hats are in control. This is part of my positivity. I view everything through that lens, that the white hats are in control, because they're starting to, the great reveal, they're reversing the MK Ultra through the television, how it happened. They have to reverse it through the same mechanism. So I think that's how we see the white hats are in control.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the time and I want to be mindful for you. I think you have to go.
I do. I have to go for promise.
Yeah, you have to go. So I just
Thank
want to
you.
say thank you. I feel like you're a sister. It's so funny because every time I watch you on videos, I'm like, I just feel like I know her, and it really
Oh,
bugged me. It's like I feel like she's like a family, like a missing family member that I, or something. I don't know. I just felt really connected to
well,
you.
I hope I was in a
So
scene with you. That's what I'm hoping, that I was back
yeah.
there in those caves with you. That would be a dream come true, to know that I
I'd
was.
have to connect into you later and tell you, but I can tell you that. I can tell
I
you
would
your
love to
past
know.
lives. I can do
I
that
would,
for
I
sure.
would love
Yeah,
to.
I just have to tap into you. I have to kind of meditate and tap into you. And yep, I can totally give you that info at a later time. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks for
because I
today.
can't just like boom give people answers. Sometimes I have to kind of go into like a state, like a certain like transcendental kind of almost state. My mind has to be able to go, and I have to be able to tap in. So
Yeah, that's the clear channel. I trust that information more when
yeah.
you like get intentional about it.
Yeah, because if I just give a pat answer, it's either I mean, the only way I can give an answer immediately is if it's something I already know, or it's something I learned about or whatever. But if it's something I'm trying to like find out about you, or I have to go into you, I have to get myself into a place where I can do that. I also have to ground center and protect myself because I'm
Right.
a super empath, and a lot of people don't know this about me, but I take on everybody's crap. So I have to like ground center and protect before I just go tapping into people. I have to totally protect. I can't just
Yeah.
people will say, hey, tell me this, tell me. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I can't just do that without protecting myself first and grounding and centering myself, because if I do, it's going to make me physically sick.
Yeah, it's too
And
messy, right? You have to be careful and intentional. That makes sense.
yeah, you have to do it. And I teach my clients this every day: ground, center, protect before you meditate. Every time you sit to meditate, ground, center, protect. You have to do that. And even when we're at our women's retreat we're doing in May, we're going to be teaching a lot of these kind of skills, because we're going to send everyone away with a huge etheric tool belt of all these really cool things, that they'll be able to do for themselves, so that every day of their life into the future they will be able to utilize these skills that we're going to teach. So yeah, so thank
You're
you.
a teacher. You're a teacher at heart. That's your mission.
Yeah, exactly. My mission is to be a teacher and a healer. That's why I came here. That's why I got my training in Arcturus in one of my lifetimes. So everybody who goes through Arcturus, who's been in Arcturian or whatever, is all here to be healers, whether it's Alexander Quinn or whoever it is. They're all basically, here to be healers. All the Arcturians, they're the healers of the universe and the physicians of the universe.
I love that.
So and that is what you're here for too, Gila. You're here to heal
I feel
people.
that. I feel
So
that.
yep, absolutely. So I am so honored to have had you here today. Is there any last minute words of wisdom you can offer everybody to help them with this ascension process? Like just something you do for yourself, or
I put my toes in the grass, in the morning, and I really connect. I use my feet to connect all the way up to God, and I feel the nature, because it's summertime now, so I feel like the warm air around me, and I hear the shushing of the trees, and I really understand that God is inside all of that, all the sounds, the feelings, and just feeling it through the body, and then connecting all of that to source. Like we are the lightning rods, we have all this electricity, and to just ground God's energy here to help ourselves and all the people around us will feel that protection that we bring in, that we call in, and it'll help so many people go through
absolutely.
this time.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I agree with that. And I try to do the same. I try to, well, it snows here in the winter, so I can't do it in the winter, but in the summer, I try to walk barefoot in the grass as much as
It's
possible.
huge. It's so
Yeah.
much.
If
Yeah.
I'm near an ocean, I'd be on the beach in the like in the water, like every day. But right now I'm hundreds of miles, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away from any ocean. Unfortunately, I'm an inlander in the United States. So yeah.
Yeah.
So when I take vacations, I'm going to be taking a vacation really soon. Early fall, I want to say, where I'll have access to the beach for about 3 days. And let me tell you, I'm going to really take advantage of that.
Good. Good.
Yeah. So anyways, well, thank you. I will share your link to your book in the description. And thank you, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you know anybody who would benefit, especially people who are buying into all this information that all the Jews are all Khazarian and they're all bad. The Khazarian Jews are not real Jews. Please get it through your head. They are not real Jews. They're reptilian. They worship Satan. Anybody who's involved with the cabal does not worship God. They worship Satan. And the amount of the Jewish people who do that is a tiny percent. The rest of the Jewish people worship God. They're good people. They're family people. They're loving people. And everybody needs to pull their heads out of their arses, as they say.
Yeah, really, really for your own good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it does affect us, but also don't be on that timeline that you get sucked in.
Yeah, don't be on the negative timeline. Exactly. The fear timeline.
Fear,
And
hatred, division,
judgment, separation, division. We are all one human race. Oh, the one thing that Gila and I were talking about before we came on is the fact that in space, you've got, when I came here, thousands of years ago, many thousands of years ago, I was blue with green hair. Okay. I came from Sirius B and I was blue with green hair. And there are ETs that look like Chewbacca. There are ETs that look like Gizmo from the little, and Stripe from that movie with the little creepy, those, what are the gremlins? There's, there's the ETs that look, the mantids. They are giant, like ant looking bug people, reptilians, So imagine all of these stupid humans on Earth who are baby humans who are saying, I don't like you because you're Muslim. I don't like you because you're black. I don't like you because you're yellow. I don't like. Those people are going to have quite a shock to the gut and the brain when they see these ETs show up that are blue and pink and yellow and green and red and all these different colors, We're all
that's why that energy won't make it. That energy is not compatible. So now's the time to work on yourselves. I know we're speaking to like-minded people who think like us, but if you're out there and you're hearing this, and this is the first time you're hearing this, this is a grace period right now, and it's not going to last that much longer to work on our character.
No, you actually have a short period of time, because once the flash hits, and I keep warning people about this, you only have time to work on yourself until the big, I call it the energy wave, because that's what Yeshua called it. He called it an energy wave. He calls it the energy wave of purification. It's going to purify the whole planet. So anything that is not of light and of God is going to be gone. It's going to be gone. And so you literally have till that hits before you will be gone. People are going to disappear, just like in the Marvel movie where they have the Infinity Stone and half of the people on the planet disappear. That is exactly, they're showing you what is coming. I don't know if you all know this, and Gila, I don't know if your audience knows this, but all the governments all over the world have known about the solar flash for a long, long time. Because the ETs told them, and they know about it. They know what's coming. And that's why the bad guys are trying to do as much damage to the earth and kill as many people and take as much collateral damage as possible. So you'll see more weather warfare, more of these toxic chemical clouds, and all of the rain is supposedly full of chemicals. You're going to see more of these mosquitoes with malaria and this and that and all this kind of thing going on.
It can't touch you though. If you're vibing high, none of that can touch you.
Yeah. Exactly. If you stay in a really high frequency, you will be fine. I don't know anyone that died of that thing, that last plague that they spread. People who were awake and really, really high vibe, none of them that I know of went from that thing at all. I got it. I was really sick for 3 weeks, really sick, but I lived through it, and I'm here to tell about it, because I stayed in a high frequency. I mean, Magenta Pixie was like hospitalized for it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was real. And I think a lot of us were meant to feel so we can have compassion. Sometimes you go through things just
to have compassion.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I was given it so I'd sit down and shut up for 3 weeks because I was so busy. Well, because I'm so busy helping people every day, all day long, and doing that I wasn't sitting my ass down and just listening. I was doing and not listening. So I'm going to warn you all, if you don't listen more and do less, you will be put on your ass so that you
get that plane gets grounded for you.
Yep. You will be given a sickness. There was one time that they made me trip and tear my ankle so that I couldn't go anywhere for a couple weeks.
I've had things like that happened to me also. When you're running like a crazy woman, they'll be like, stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
because I used to be type A, you know, go, 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 go all the time. Just go, go, go.
Right. I'm more being and less doing.
And then they cut you off at some point and say, nope, we're not gonna let you do this anymore.
Right.
So anyways, all right. Well, I am long-winded here, so I'm gonna say bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for
Kimberly.
coming.
Have a good Shabbos, everybody.
You all. Happy Sabbath. Bye.